Alrighty, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to get the mirror or not, but see what she's got yet. Transmission's slipping a bit. Got a little toasty. Sorry if I can't keep the camera still doing that. We're focused on one thing, but she still got it. Oh, I tell you, that just never gets old. This truck's just got so much freaking rip-roar get-up. Just love it. You know, everybody's like, why don't you just buy a new truck already? Why do you keep fixing them? Why do you this, that, the other? Well, once you've driven this truck, you'd understand. There's nothing quite like this thing scooting down 0 to 60. I mean, she just goes for it. I mean, it is on stage 5, so 120 horse overstock, and got some gear up here. Oh yeah, let's cross the road about now. It seems like a great idea. This thing had a built trans, I tell you, I don't know how much faster it would be. But I can tell you, I'd be afraid of cranking this. Sorry, snapping a crank or blowing or breaking a rod or something, because she just goes hard at it. And I mean, I'd say this is probably the limit of this block and stock internals. She's not playing around at all. So, it's a little bit of downhill, kind of, sort of, not really. But, just want to get a shot of the cluster doing it. God, she rolls so much cold. Got to break in that new U-joint, you know. My cowboy hat launched off the dash. Oh, I tell ya, this thing, Chinese LEDs, that's about right. But she just about broke them loose. I mean, like both drift. She started to get a little squirrely there, but oh man, she rolls so much coal right off the line. I mean, it just dumps all fuel, no boost, and it God. Like $5 worth of fuel there, but my gosh. Oh, she rips pretty dang good. I don't know what that 0 to 60 time is, but it's good enough for me. You know, I often say I'd like a Stealth 64 with a 40 or 35% tips. Sure to get a lift pump, maybe a stroker CP3. I honestly, I can't even imagine what kind of power that would be. Even like a Stealth 67 on this thing. Like, I don't want any worse spool up. But feels awfully wobbly. To get back and check the lug nuts. Feels funky. Huh. It feels really weird. I'm getting all sorts of different feelings I've never felt before. Maybe breaking in the U-joint wasn't such a good idea. I did grease it. I ended up having to buy a whole new U-joint. I didn't ask if they had sold individual bits, but I saw on the website they didn't. But, you know, I wanted to get everything all nice and warmed up, and I already drove down 94 and was keeping up with traffic that were, you know, going Mexico speeds, you know, so I don't know what to say about this truck. I've got a nasty vibration, but I can't really diagnose anything until I have a set of tires and rims that aren't screwed up. Like these 16-inch rims, the aftermarket ones don't give you enough room to put weights in and properly balance the tires, so they're out of balance. And the 20-inch set of rims, one of the tires has supposedly got a high spot in it, so it's so you get a perfect set of tires and a perfect set of wheels, and it's just balanced beautifully. I can't diagnose what the hell's wrong with this thing. I mean, everything's tight. We were doing upwards of 90, and around there I was getting a very strange harmonic resonance in the cab, and I don't know what to think, if it's tires out of balance and it's, they semi-smoothed out around that speed, or they're only as smooth as they are out of balance, and that out of balance is at such a high rate now that it's giving me that frequency, or the drive shaft's out of balance with the new U-joint. I mean, it's done this before the U-joint, so I don't know what to think. But I do know that my noise is 95-ish% gone. And I only say that because as I de-accelerate and I come up to about 10-15 miles an hour coasting, I can hear a little bit of that noise. But when I was spinning the new caps on the new U-joint, it wasn't loud like the old cap was, but it wasn't very smooth. It kind of had a ratchety for every needle bearing as you rotated it. So I'm kind of wondering if some of that noise-ish is getting up into the cab, but I don't know. Pretty much gone over the whole thing now, the whole truck. The front diff wasn't out of fluid like I suspected it had been. I don't know how long ago or if I ever checked the fluid level in this thing. It's so much quieter, I can tell you that. Coming up to a coast like that, I'd be able to hear. Not anymore. And it's nice having all these nice bright lights and whatnot to see backing up. Besides backing into the Cadillac, that'd be bad. She'd leave a little bit of mark. But got that light bar on the back, so that helps for sheer. We'll get up and take a peek at it here. Take a peek. Our light setup going on now. Alright, shut her off just like that. Turn the key back on. Parking brake. Barely works. Let's get right. Oh. So, zoom back out. Oh yeah. Now, I was going to upgrade these right away, but I'm not gonna right now. And then, of course, ultra mega blinding. Sweet! So, got the lift pump going. The AirDog 2 4G. Sounding good as usual. Got our nice light there. Now, I do have to say, I think this thing would look incredible with the cab lights. I've always wanted, I mean, it just looks so bald, doesn't it? It just needs something on the roof. And I always thought one of them light bars going across would be cool, but I'm not drilling into my cab and I can't use the light legally, so it's kind of besides the point. But take a peek, see at our blinker options here. So, and they are sequential on the mirror. They don't, they do kind of match. But yeah, because I found a set of cab lights that are 07 up style, the slimmer ones that are switchback. Why switchback, I don't know. But I don't know, I think having something match the mirrors would significantly help. So that's why I'm thinking of doing that. And I could still have them as turn signals, so that way everybody knows But I'm turning. I mean, why not? You got it, might as well use it. Fog light switch isn't in the truck, so I can't turn them on, but not that you're missing anything. They're just halogen bulbs at the moment. But yeah. Oh. Nice. Whoops. Don't do that. Now, what was I trying to do? What was I thinking? Guess nothing. Parking brake. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, buddy. Sounds good as usual. See our bum LED. It's hard to tell right here, but as you're in person, it's just blatantly obvious. So, but you know, it adds so much more light to the rear. You know, all that lights up at night is this one, I think. And during the day, this outside and this lights up as the brake light. But and the turn signal, you just get this little strip. It's just not enough to me. I like having this. It's blinks, you know, with everything. So kind of wish the and I could have this guy do this for me to make it more nice. Oh, that is blinding. But I don't know if you can see it here. You can see some dumb LEDs and the turn signal over just on the left side, nothing on the right side. But I just like the fact that everybody behind me knows I'm turning. Like, I mean, you get a little out of the way over here and then you pretty well can't see the blinker anymore. And same for kind of over here. Just imagine being a car, and I suppose you've got that, but you know, that may not catch somebody's attention as much as, oh gee, he's wanting to move over. Okay, you know, so just the safety factor. Somebody can really see me now. That's the main goal. And besides the fact that the red looks good on red. So, this being a red truck, but I suppose I can shut it down for the moment. Now, I will say, let's see, what have I done now? I've filled the transfer case. Everything's pretty well doggone quiet. I'm going to drive it as much as possible to make sure that she's fixed and ready to rumble for the summertime. I did not drive it a whole lot last year, a few thousand miles, but nothing substantial. Didn't want to take it far. It's mainly just been my grocery getter beater, you know, freaking let her rip, tater chip. So, but yeah, I did order an upper control arm set Kryptonite or Kryptonite, I don't remember. I looked at them both. Whichever one was just a smidge more expensive, like $10 more. So that'll give me my drop height back since the truck is leveled. And I mean, I'm still rocking original upper control arm on this side, new one on the passenger side, because the Moog ball joint we put in there went bad in under 60,000 miles. So it's got Moog lower ball joints too. And it's the original lower control arms too on both sides. So that's original bushings on 276,000, something like that, and 16 years. That's a long time on rubber, and a lot of miles on rubber. So I do have that newer set of lower control arm bushings. We never successfully installed them, even though we tried with a 20-ton press to install the bushings in an older control arm off my 06 Sierra, and we couldn't get it in. So we gave up on the whole idea and went and bought newer control arms, sold kit caboodle, which is on this truck now. It's the Moog lowers with bushings and ball joints and whatever, but it's a chunk of change. I mean, upper control arms were a chunk of change, and it just didn't come out in the budget to buy upper and lower control arms. That's almost $900 from DMAX store. I mean, and I didn't really want to get the Moog ones. I just want to be done, you know, with repairs. Moog's been problematic for me for a while. I'm just tired of this truck having to be worked on because it's been a constant thing and it's still ongoing. And the next thing on the list, now that we've pretty well quieted things down, is the oil cooler. It needs an oil change. It needs the oil cooler change because it's leaking coolant. It needs a coolant flush with that. So oil change, coolant, oil cooler. I mean, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. So I got to do all the wiring yet for the subwoofer. Got to make sure the AC is topped up. And other than that, I think we're okay for the moment. I might end up draining the rear diff and refilling it, hoping to flush it out of that limited slip diff, or limited slip additive I put in there. So I think that really hurts the ability of it locking up, because it does not lock up worth a damn. So, but anyway, wanted LED fog lights for the thing, but that's later date. We are doing LED low beams on this with the halogen housings. It has xenon now, the factory, and it's pitiful. So actually, keys in the truck. Now that it's dark out, oh, the hat isn't supposed to fall on the ground, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Thought it was. It is. Okay, I'll show you a little bit here of what I'm talking about with the headlights. Should be able to tell pretty easily, hopefully. Cameras always do stupid stuff, so. Got low beam. I'll let them warm up here a minute. Of course, the camera kind of makes it look a little bit brighter than it is. But kick on the high beam and it is just blinding. It's awesome. It's what high beams are meant to do. You turn on the low beam again and it's like, whoa. At least half my light disappeared. In lumens, I mean. Half the light in lumens disappeared. That's a humongous difference. I mean, that is... You're driving at night and you flip the high beams off, it's... Oh my gosh. Can I even see the road? So, that's why we're going to do the same bulbs I have as the low beams as the low beams as well. The bulbs as the high beams, as the low beams now. So they'll both be the same bulb type, or bulb brand, model, whatever, just different, size, since they're both whatever. But anyway, I don't know why they're both not 9005 on the halogen, because they're 9005 low and it's like H11 on the top. Whatever. And then we'll have to get a LED fog lights as well, just so it all matches. It looks nice. Because right now it's just halogen and blah. And I got LED turn signals coming, and I think that's it. Just because I've had to put the halogens back in, because the LEDs are in that one from the turn signals. So, and I like them in there, and they're going to stay. And this one's already got LEDs. They work for now, and I'm not terribly worried about it. They work. Because they're, those bulbs I'm buying are $75 a set. That's a chunk of change for, to think, well, there's 2 sets of bulbs up front here, a set in the back for the reverse lights. This one needs a set of reverse lights. This one needs 2 sets of white ones for the reverse and the DRLs, because the ones I've got leave the socket exposed to the elements, so it corrodes and gets nasty. And I think I put all new sockets for the DRLs and stuff, and I already looked at them once and they're scary. I mean, I'm gonna have to replace them again or something. They're just green, crusty, blah. And those, these bulbs are freaking brighter than bright. And of course, that key's in the truck. And I got them off of Amazon. They're don't ever buy LEDs from Diesel LED, because you could buy them on Amazon for half the cost, and they're the same exact bulb. They have the same exact failure points. I mean, that's freaking bright, right? And you come up front, and they are uber freaking bright. Now, they've been reliable. They aren't flickering. I mean, look how bright that is. That's insane. They're like mini headlights. I love it. I'm sure everybody else hates it, but I love it. I mean, it just... That's just from the DRLs lighting up the freaking front of the road there. And so But as I'm saying, this isn't a 3150 conventional 3157. It has a electrical plug, like a tail, that comes off the bulb. So the actual fitting that's supposed to, screw into the back there doesn't. It's just flopping in the back off that pigtail from the bulb. So it leaves that socket open to all the elements, and well, you end up with copious amounts of, well, 1, moisture in the headlights, and 2, moisture in the socket, and then there is such a cheap wire and a cheap connector that when you go to pull the connector out of the socket, it just breaks. It rips the wire out. Even though you're not pulling on the wire, it just breaks. You don't touch them. Once they're in there, you don't touch them. So I've already gone through, like the diesel LED, I've warrantied them out once. I wanted to do it a second time, and they wouldn't let me. So I was like, okay, screw you guys. I paid $80-some for that set of LEDs, and I went to Amazon, found them for $35 or something, bought them, stuck them in, same exact thing, and they're reliable. I like how bright they are, but in a rusty, salty state, it ain't gonna last, not one bit. So, and that's another 2 pairs at $75. Next thing you know, you got $600 just in LEDs, and I don't know. I like them. I like the turn signals. They're freaking bright, and they just light everything up in this thing. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's insane. Now that's only with the blinker on. Parking light is just dimmer than dim, so I'm not blinding people until I turn my turn signal on. I know people are just going to have a fit. But, I mean, it's a world of difference between parking light and turn signal. But like I said, I've been backed into now twice. Once in the car and once in this truck, and I'm not doing it again. I mean, if people can't see me, that's a problem. So I'll fix that. I'm not getting backed into again. And if you do back into me, you're a freaking blind idiot, okay? But I mean, that's hardly nothing. That's hardly bright at all, but that's just marker light. So but yeah, that's that. So as much as I wanted to buy LEDs on top of buying control arms and now U-joints, and I'm not that that's expensive, but it all adds up, and it's been expensive this week. So waiting on the upper control arms. Then we'll have to go rent the torsion bar tool. Probably do torsion bar bushings on this thing, mounting bushings, because original, and get those out of the way. Well, we have the torsion bars loose. And the other thing too is with the Moog lower control arms on here, the torsion key is offset just enough that I have the torsion bars cranked all the way up on this truck, and it is still dropping the front end like it's factory. So you're gonna say, oh, it's probably weaker control arms, 300 or weaker torsion bars at 300 some thousand. Well, yes and no, okay? Before I even did the control arms, this truck was leveled, and it wasn't sagging. 280 some thousand miles, it wasn't sagging. So, and that was with them cranked maybe halfway-ish, and put the new control arms on, and the front end just literally dropped. Same torsion bars, and I have to crank them all the way up, and it's pretty pitiful. So I need a different set of torsion bar keys in order to crank it up more. So I don't want a whole lot. I want it level. I still want a downward slant, but it's severe right now, especially with the rear airbags. So bring it up a little bit, and then this guy's fine. It just needs the travel back now that the sun's gone. But that's why I didn't want to go with Moog on this. I want to try and keep the control arms. There's nothing wrong with them. It's Southern truck. You know, it's seen a couple winters, but the control arms are still in really great shape, so I just want to try new bushings or something, just make sure, you know, that was one of the things with the vibration. Just get the bushings out of the way, tie rods are done. The only other thing, I believe does this need the death grip pitman arm yet? I don't even know what I did on both my trucks. I can't see in there. Oh, maybe you can see. And I'll just look through your eyes. I can't see shit. Oh, what do we got down here? Okay, that's the Moog. I believe that's the Moog pitman arm. We have a Moog idler arm as well. And I believe the idler arms just on both trucks has a smidge of slop. So this has the death grip tie rods or whatever they are, the extreme duty Duramax store tie rods, both the trucks. And that one's got the death grip pitman arm. And I'd like to do the death grip idler arm, but that's like $400 just for the idler arm kit, you know, with the brace and whatever. So I got a whole list of things I'd like to do, but can only do one at a time pretty much. So, but hope you guys enjoyed it's a bit of an update and whatnot, and pretty well ready for summer now, or we're getting there really close. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Stay tuned for more content, and yeah, God bless.